What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, good people? How's it going? Another piece of content I'm bringing your way. I told you guys I would do streams for these small pieces of content, man. Quick hits, but you guys seem to prefer streams over recorded, uploaded videos. So when I have an opportunity, I'm going to come on and do these quick hits, if you will. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Slow day for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know we did sign, what's the kid's name? Hold on, guys. I'm going to tell you in just a second. What's the kid's name from the Jets? Eccles. Eccles is his last name, but let me get his first name. A little familiar with him. Brandon Eccles. Pittsburgh Steelers signed him. He has played on the outside as well as the inside. So it's going to be interesting to see, how that transpires in terms of him and Darius Slay. And speaking of Darius Slay, also his deal is official, $10 million. Darius Slay, $10 million, all right, for the one-year contract. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about the topic at hand. As you see in the title, I know some of you guys are probably trying to figure out what am I referring to when I say making a case for Jaxon Dart. Yes, making a case for Jaxon Dart. I'm going to be speaking from the perspective of a what-if scenario, similar to what I did last night. If you guys saw Terrible Towel Tuesday with myself, brought Kenyon on to do our steel table discussion, we kind of talked from perspectives, right? We're not speaking in absolutes. We're just speaking from perspectives. Last night we spoke from the perspective of, okay, what if it's Aaron Rodgers? Tonight I'm going to speak from the perspective of what if Jaxon Dart was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and giving you my opinion on that. So really quick, guys, is in terms of the quarterback position, we haven't heard anything again on Wednesday. It is, and I quote, 8:54 p.m. Eastern time on March the 12th. We have not heard anything from Aaron Rodgers or anyone else as far as signing as the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. And if you're like me, you might be getting a little antsy. You might be getting a little antsy, man, because I just want to have answers. I just want to know who's who, what's what. But again, I'll be patient. It's really not my business. I'm just a fan. But I wanted to talk about something else really quick before I get into Jaxon Dart. It is being reported that Russell Wilson will be meeting with the Cleveland Browns. I want to say it's, is it Friday? It's either Friday or tomorrow. Let me see if I can find it just to make sure I have it right. Doesn't really matter so much, but let me see. Where is it? I don't see it. Yes, they will be visiting the Browns this week. The Browns and the Giants. It says quarterback Russell Wilson is scheduled to visit the Browns this week, and that's per Tom Pelissero. Let's see if they have the dates. Here it is. It says Russell Wilson is scheduled to fly tonight to visit the Cleveland Browns tonight on Thursday, before scheduled to fly to New York on Thursday to meet with the New York Giants on Friday. So that is interesting. And let me just talk about that for a quick second. That tells me that the Pittsburgh Steelers either hasn't made a real attempt to re-sign Russell Wilson, or Russell Wilson is deciding to go elsewhere for various reasons, whether it's more money or, if he prefers to go elsewhere. Now, again, what you're going to hear throughout the season, guys, I'm talking about last year, you're going to always hear quarterbacks or any player say, oh, yeah, I love being here. I would like to stay here. But at the end of the day, when the rubber hits the road, guys, it's about business, right? Whether that's from the organization or from the player. So we don't know the situation with Russell Wilson. I would assume the Pittsburgh Steelers were deciding to forego, but we don't know what the negotiations are or haven't been. So I'll leave it at that. But I find it very funny that Russell Wilson could potentially end up a Cleveland Brown alongside Kenneth Pickett, in which Kenneth Pickett was upset when the Pittsburgh Steelers signed Russell Wilson or traded for Russell Wilson. Can't remember if it was it was a trade. Was it a trade or a signing? I think it was a trade because they got if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the reason why. Oh, I don't remember. I think maybe we signed him for the minimum and Denver was still paying him. We traded for Justin Fields. But if I'm wrong, y'all correct me on that. But either way, if Russell Wilson ends up at Cleveland with Kenny Pickett, that is just going to be hilarious to me. But some are saying that he might end up with the Giants. I don't know. And here's the one last thing I want to say, and then I'm going to go to Jaxon Dart. I'm getting sick and tired of the way this is playing out from an Aaron Rodgers perspective. I kind of share this sentiments of, who was that I saw today that said it? Schefter. Adam Schefter was like, listen, the decision this is not hard. You've been here before. This is your 20th year, whatever year it is. Dude, either sign or not. All of this waiting and playing, and I'm with him. Again, it's not my business. I don't know what the negotiations are, but it's make a decision or don't make a decision. I mean, make the decision or, sign or don't sign. It's just that simple. I'm starting to think that the money is the issue. I am starting to think that Aaron Rodgers, rightfully so, you know what I say about athletes, get your money. But I'm starting to think that Aaron Rodgers is asking for a boatload of money and the Steelers are not willing to budge on whatever offer they've given him. Because if we are to believe the reports, even with Justin Fields, it was reported that the Steelers offered a 2-year deal worth $30 million with $20 guaranteed. And we all know that Justin Fields signed a 2-year deal worth $40 million with $30 guaranteed. So that sounds like the Steelers were not willing to budge beyond that amount. So that could very well be going on with Aaron Rodgers as well. And let me just say this. Guys, I seriously hope that the Steelers would not reach and overpay Aaron Rodgers. I understand it's the market. You heard what Kenyon and I talked about last night. Kenyon made a wonderful case, and I can understand if he is signed, okay, I see why. I see what the case is. I won't be mad. I will root for the team. But if I still had my preferences, like I said last night, I would prefer them not to do that, especially if it's going to cost too much. I'm only cool with the Aaron Rodgers experiment for a short stint if it's price efficient, right? If it's price efficient, and that's when I'm cool with it. Now let's move on to what I really want to talk about. I'm only going to be a few minutes here, but I did my homework. I have watched 3 full games of Jaxon Dart. I watched a little piece of, forget which game it was last night. I told y'all I watched, but I only watched the markup of each throw. But today, I watched full games. I just fast forwarded when the other team was on offense. But I watched the Georgia game, the Oklahoma game, and what was the other one I watched? Hold on, guys. I can tell y'all in just a moment. Georgia, Oklahoma, and yeah, there's Oklahoma, there's Georgia, and where's the other one? Give me a second and I'll tell you. It's going to be in my history. Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. Here's my thoughts on Jaxon Dart, just from my quick observation. Again, I only watched these 3 games one time. I didn't do a deep dive. I'll have to go back to do that. But the reason why I want to offer this perspective is, again, the Steelers are in a situation, in my opinion, it's just like when we drafted Kenny Pickett. They're in a situation where there's no bona fide free agent veteran that's going to come in and take you to the Super Bowl. Some would say, okay, maybe Aaron Rodgers, but again, right now, Aaron Rodgers isn't even a lock because here it is Wednesday and there's no deal, right? Here it is Wednesday, and I don't think the Jets have released him officially yet. Maybe they're waiting on that, but either way, if a deal was intimate, if it was coming, then we would know by now. We keep hearing that Aaron Rodgers is just waiting to make his decision on who it's going to be. So that's not even a slam dunk. So my opinion is, at this point, man, before we overpay for any free agent that's remaining, I'm not even opposed to them just doing what they did when they drafted Kenny Pickett. I know some of you guys are going to say, oh, we don't want to do that. Just like Kenyon and I spoke last night, it might not be the greatest QB class, but I'm at this point with it, guys. The Steelers might have to double dip. Let's say you draft a guy like Jaxon Dart or some other guy. You have a mediocre year, what have you. The guy doesn't pan out the way you want. Again, rookie year, you can't be too harsh on him, but maybe, you're not seeing where you could build with him. And hey, worst case scenario, he becomes your backup to the next guy that you draft in 26. I'm just looking at all case scenarios, guys, because at this moment, I don't see another scenario that just jumps out. The Steelers have put themselves in the worst possible predicament again in terms of quarterback prior to the start of the new league year. Remember, by this time, that season when we drafted Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky was already signed. We're in a worse predicament. So I said, okay, let me look at Jaxon Dart. That's what a lot of people out there are saying. Oh, Jaxon Dart would be a fit. Oh, he could be an option. I'm seeing some Steeler Nation root for him. I see other people in Steeler Nation saying, no, not so much. So let me give you my opinion. A lot of what I said last night. Hey, Jaxon Dart is a baller, man. From what I saw in those 3 games, he's a baller. Tough kid. Which game was it where he got hurt? I think it was the last one I watched. No, it might have been the Oklahoma game. Oh, no, maybe Georgia. Might have been it's the Georgia game where he got hurt, left. That young kid came in. Then Dart came in back into the game at that following drive. Ran the ball in this game. I mean, in these 3 games that I watched, he had some sizable runs. He's not a running quarterback per se in terms of he's not a Lamar Jackson. He's not a Justin Fields. He's not one of those blazers, but he does run the ball. What I also noticed is that they do a whole lot of play action, a whole lot of RPO, a whole lot of zone read. So what that could do for those, again, I'm just giving scenarios, for those of you who want or would love the Steelers to draft this guy, the case that you can make for him, if he comes into Arthur Smith's offense, right, then you reintroduce some of those design run plays that we had for Justin Fields. His accuracy looked fairly decent to me. A couple of his throws sometimes were behind a guy, but in watching these 3 full games, I saw him make some really good throws. I saw him make throws outside the numbers. I saw him attack in the middle of the field. I even paid attention to, I think it was the Oklahoma game. One of those games, they were playing a lot of too high. So I put myself in the mindset of, okay, George Pickens, DK Metcalf, we know we're going to get that look anyway. And I saw him attack the middle, attack the seam. I saw him have decent pocket presence. And what I mean by that is he made a decision to escape quick, but not too soon. There was a couple of times that he drifted back a little bit, ate a sack, but he's not a finished product, right? I think Kenyon said it great last night. Kenyon's opinion, some of you guys might agree or disagree. Kenyon's opinion is he feels like Cam Ward is the only franchise quarterback. So this is what I propose. Jaxon Dart has something. I'm only talking about a scenario where the Steelers have no choice. What if they draft Jaxon Dart, play him, see what they can get out of him, and if his upside turns into upside, great. If it doesn't, you're not at any requirement to stick with him. He would be the cheapest option, in my opinion, as a rookie versus paying one of these veterans and offering them a guarantee of $20 million like you did with Justin Fields. It would be a cheaper option. Could be a Brock Purdy situation. That's the first thing I thought about, right? I know as fans, we like to always say, "Oh man, no, don't draft that guy. He sucks." Da, da, da. We always like to say that. But let's look at the other side of the coin. What if he turns into a Brock Purdy situation? You never know. You know what he reminded me of when I'm watching him? I'm like, you know what? Let me propose this to you guys in Steeler Nation. What if he gives you Baker Mayfield at Tampa Bay type of game? Think about that. What if he gives you a Baker Mayfield type of gameplay? Today's Baker Mayfield. And that's what I thought about as I'm watching him. I'm like, you know what? He's not the most talented quarterback, but he's gritty. I saw some grit from him. Seems to be a really tough kid. Made some really nice throws. Made some clutch throws. Made some bad throws, right? Had a couple bad throws in the Florida game. You know, down the stretch, 2 interceptions. You know, it's gonna happen with all quarterbacks. These quarterbacks that are at the top of the list threw interceptions in their career as well. Listen to what I'm saying. He is not a finished product, but I saw talent in him. Last night I was telling y'all, you know, from the little piece that I watched, and actually I'm going to tell y'all what I watched. Let me go to my history, and I'll tell y'all the little piece that I watched. Okay, I watched the mock-up of him, Jaxon Dart against Texas A&M. And it was just, you know, like a 8-minute video just showing each throw. But today I watched full games, right? What I'm saying is I see something after watching him again today. I see some talent there. I see a tough mentality, talent, not the ridiculously strong arm, but he can get the ball there. Saw him place the ball in nice spots, but more importantly, he was not afraid to attack the middle of the field, particularly slants and down the seam. Saw him throw some slot fades as well. I will say this, in those games that I watched as well, some of them Ole Miss receivers was dropping a lot of those balls. There was a couple that he put right in guys' fingertips and they dropped it. So all I'm saying is, what if we're in a scenario where we don't get Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson? Would it be so bad to draft Jaxon Dart and see what you get? It does not prevent you to go and get another quarterback again. Just saying. Because like it or not, we are in that situation, guys. And each day that goes by, it's looking more and more like desperation. And if the Steelers are going to be desperate, I'd rather them just go young, take a shot in the dark. If you could get one of those guys that's in the draft and a cheap veteran as a backup, not these guys that are trying to get paid. I would rather do that. Because like I said, I'm cool with the Aaron Rodgers situation. Kenyon kind of sold me on it last night, but only at the right price. But the way things are going, and I thought maybe today it would get done, or at least mention of it. The way things are going right now, it looks like the options are dwindling down. Because like I said, even Russell Wilson is going to visit the Browns and the Giants. So even the idea of bringing him back might not be on the table. Round of applause to who we got here. Steeler Lee, man. I appreciate that Wonder Bread. Hey, man. Hey, at this point, I would say the same thing about Shedeur. Like Kenyon and I said like last night, we don't know if he would work. But at this point, man, what I'm saying to you guys, whether y'all agree or disagree, but this is what I'm saying. Whether it's Shedeur or Jaxon Dart, I'm saying that I would rather at this point the Steelers just do another Kenny Pickett situation. Draft the guy and take a chance. I know some of y'all in this chat, I haven't even looked over here. Some of y'all are probably losing y'all mind. No, we can't do that. What other choice do they have? Our team has put themselves into this situation. Potentially, no Russell Wilson. For sure, no Justin Fields. Not even a seriously attractive crop of free agent quarterbacks, period. Aaron Rodgers pump faking. The probability of them trading for, who else was y'all talking about last night? Joe Milton and whoever else. So I saw Jacoby Brissett's name. I don't know, is he a free agent? But I'm just saying, either way the Steelers go, it's a crapshoot at this point. So I'm not opposed to it, man. So I was just wanting to make my case for Jaxon Dart if the Steelers went that way. Again, I see that there's some talent there. I don't know what his level of ceiling is, but the kid is talented. He's mobile. He's tough. Like I said, he kind of puts me in the mindset, and I'm not saying they play the same, but when I'm watching them, I'm like, okay, if us as Steelers fans could get Baker Mayfield from Tampa Bay, are we okay with that? Meanwhile, while the search would still continue for your future franchise. You understand what I'm saying? That's kind of how I was viewing it as I was watching the game, especially at the Georgia game, man. Tough. He showed me a lot of toughness in that game, using his legs. Probably some of the better throws that I saw him make in the games I watched early in the Florida game, not down the stretch, but he made some nice throws in that Florida game as well as against Oklahoma. But that's all I got. That's all I got. I think if you had to go that route, like I said, you could reintroduce the design runs and design plays with read option and inside zone, in zone read and RPO that we had with Justin Fields. You could do that with him. He's tough enough to run the ball. A thicker kid too. If you look kind of how he's built, thick guy, big legs. He's a stocky dude. I think he's 6'2". I'm just saying. If it came down to the free agents that are left, it's not the worst idea because the Steelers literally have no choice. I saw my girl in here. What's up, Debbie? Debbie. Always good to see you. So I want to read your comment. I'm only going to spend another 4 or 5 minutes in here, guys. I told you, these are just quick hits. Debbie says, I think that people mistake franchise with talented and other adjectives. We need a serviceable quarterback that can run Smith's offense. If we end up with a franchise QB, it is a bonus. Debbie, right here. I applaud that. That's the point I'm making. That is the point I'm making. These generational guys or these bona fide franchise quarterbacks, you got to go get them. And the Steelers drafting position, because again, we all said it last night. No, go get your quarterback in 26. And even Kenya mentioned you probably would have to use some of them compensatory picks to move up. But you understand that's what it would have to take. There's no guarantee that the Steelers do bad this year. And they're going to be in position to get one of the more highly projected quarterbacks. But Dark Knight says waste a pick. That's an opinion. It's an opinion, brother. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know if it's a good pick or a bad pick, but what I'm not doing anymore as a fan, I'm not going to call it completely conclusive until I see it with my own eyes. Case in point, y'all remember how distraught I was when we picked Kenny Pickett over Malik Willis. How has Malik Willis turned out? I'm just saying. And I think Malik Willis is probably still talented, but even in Tennessee, they messed around and went Will Levis. Will Levis was winning over him, as far as getting the spot. And now where is he? I think Green Bay behind Jordan Love. Again, I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm just saying I was so gung-ho on that, and I don't know what Malik Willis would have actually been after seeing him play in the NFL. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's a bad pick. How can you say that? Like I said, I don't know if this dude is a generational talent. Well, I do know. He doesn't look like that. But could he be a serviceable quarterback? That's where we at right now, folks. I want y'all to get that notion wrapped around your mind. That's where we are. That's where we are with the Steelers. The splash landing of quarterback, that's gone. That's nowhere near where we are. So I'm just painting a perspective. I'm not saying this is what I want them to do. I'm just saying I'm painting a perspective. If they had to go in the draft, this would be my case for Jaxon Dart. What else y'all got? Let's see what y'all got. Give me a few more before I get out of here. Brother Man says Mason Rudolph doesn't want to come back to the Steelers, so stop it. Yeah. Mark Malone, what's going on, Mark? Mark says not Jaxon Dart, need Tyler Shaw. Sign Rudolph to a double up. Okay. Where's Tyler Shaw? Because I'm not as familiar with the quarterbacks this year, guys. Who's he play for? I'll go watch him next. I'll go watch him next and give you my thoughts on him. Jacoby Brissett signed with, oh, well, there you go. Brissett already gone. See? It's dwindling down, folks. Steeler Card says Steelers need to trade back and get another day 2 pick. Okay. But who's playing quarterback? That's all I'm saying. And listen, I don't know if you have to get Dart or somebody like that in the first. I don't know. I'm just saying. Kenya says, like I said, the Steelers will draft a quarterback in 26 in Pittsburgh. Just remember I said it on March 12, 2025. Yeah, very possible. Very possible. Just painting the scenario, Kenyon, if the Steelers back themselves in a corner, and like I said, they end up having to do a Kenny Pickett. And the funny thing is, we got to remember when they drafted Kenny Pickett, they had already signed Mitchell Trubisky. So we looking at a scenario right now where as of this moment, there is no signed free agent that you expect to be the starter. And we are a month or so out from the draft. So I'm just trying to cover all bases. Somebody says, what about Mac Jones on the cheap and drafting a QB? Oh, somebody said Mac Jones got signed. Somebody says Mac Jones is signed. Okay. Oh, that's the Louisville quarterback. Okay. All right, I will actually watch him. I'll watch a game maybe tonight. So that's the older kid. Y'all, some people are saying he's 26 or something, right? But I will go check him out because Kenyon, I remember Kenyon said his arm talent is outstanding. So I definitely want to watch that. Yeah, Kenyon just said it. If you guys want to recommend the games that I should watch, I'm only going to watch 3. If you guys can recommend the matchups I should watch, I will get right on those. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow with another report. Shout outs to Maestro Fresh, man. I appreciate the Wonder Bread. Round of applause, brother. He says, my guy. Right back at you, my guy. Rajan says, I didn't know about the special edition. I'm just titling that. I'm titling it as special edition anytime I just do, a pop-up video. And the only reason why is because, again, shameless plug, just trying to promote Terrible Towel Tuesday. And most of you guys who watch me know me for that. So, just trying to do my little marketing, if you will. It's not a bona fide, it's not something that happens all the time, but I told y'all I was going to be on it. I'm more on it now with content, man. So yeah, look out. Let's see. Anything else anybody else got? Which games? Kenya says, Sim, that wasn't for you, bro. That was in the general. Okay, I'm glad you watched Dart. All right. But yeah, any specific games you guys are thinking about? Any specific games you guys are thinking about as far as Louisville that I can watch? Because if not, I'll just go, I'm just going to look at their schedule. And I try to look at tougher opponents that they played. And I also look at a game, preferably that a quarterback balled out, so I can see, how he did what he did. Speaking of which, that game against Arkansas for Dart, I didn't watch it, but they scored 63 points. Might have to go back and check that one out. Okay. Kenya says he'll let me know which ones to watch. Yeah, I'm gonna watch at least one of them tonight. At least one of them tonight. But that's all I got, man. I just wanted to paint that scenario to you guys. What's up, Sade? Sade says, see how much Malik Willis will cost us in a trade. What's the worst that can happen? And see, that's where I'm at with it, Sade. That's where I'm at. This is what I'm trying to paint these pictures. This is where we are, guys. We're talking about potentially trading for Joe Milton or Malik Willis. And that's what I'm saying, right? Well, all I'm saying is if that's where we are and everything is a what if, it's a project, I'm just painting the picture. Where is it so bad if they have to mess around and draft somebody this year? Even if, quote unquote, even if the draft pick is a stopgap. There's nothing preventing the Steelers from drafting a quarterback in 26. But it could get down to desperate time. Could be the cheaper option to just draft one of them this year and see what you get out of them. And it's not going to kill you. It's not going to kill you to draft somebody next year as well. And then monetarily, it's not going to kill you to have the 2025 draft pick as your backup if you don't, if you don't see him as your future. If the 2026 quarterback comes in, beats them out in camp, it doesn't kill you. Especially if you mess around, can get it done in a later round. Because I don't know what round, guys like Dart would go. Or Ewer. I don't know where some of these guys are going to go. So especially if you can get one of these guys in a later round. I mean, all of this stuff that we saying here in the chat, we doing this. We throwing spaghetti at the wall, man. To see if the noodle sticks. If it's ready, it's going to stick. If it's not, it's going to hit the ground. So, yeah, 21 is a stretch, but I'm just painting the scenario, guys. It happened when we drafted Kenny Pickett. And we could very well be right back in the same situation. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But all right, that's all I got, man. Not too long here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Y'all know the routine. If anybody's here that's new, if you like the content, show your love and hit the like button. If you really like the content, subscribe to the channel. And last but not least, turn on your notifications so therefore you know when videos are live and streaming. Outside of that, make sure you guys have a wonderful rest of the night. If there's news to talk about tomorrow, I might pop back in again if I get a chance to watch all of these games, these 3 games from Tyler Shaw, then I will come back and talk about that, trying to keep the content going. But until then, y'all stay safe, stay healthy, God bless, good night. Like always, I thank y'all for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.